Hello everyone, it's I'm here. Welcome to my showcase, as promised, of the new police department vehicles at the DOJ. We're going to go through them, all 15 of them, and I'm going to show you guys their customizable liveries and components for each of the cars. So starting it off, here's our PD1 Crown Vic. Really love this car. It's a classic. How can you not? Awesome light pattern on all these, and I'm sure I'm going to get this question in the comments. These are all custom made for the DOJ, so unfortunately they're not released because they're beautiful and they're not going to be released. So yeah, here is the Crown Vic. No components on it right now, so we're gonna go through all 5. You have component 1, which adds the ram bar, which has this light setup on it. I'm sure you guys have seen these cars around. I have component 2, which adds the wraparound on the ram bar. Component 3, which adds the ALPR cameras on the back there. Component 4, which adds the top antennas on the roof, and component 5, which adds the trunk antennas. And so we can just do a quick look around here on the car. You can see all of its light setup and all of its lights and glory and everything. It's a really awesome car. I love it. I still use it all the time. As you can see there on the wall, you can see the environmental lighting. You can probably see it better at night, but we're not going to change the time. And so you have the normal police department livery, and then you have the supervisor livery, and then you have the Port Authority livery, and that is all the liveries on this vehicle. So let's move it on to PD2. Alright, here we have PD2. It is the 2014 Dodge Charger. Really, this is with no extras on. I'm switching the trainer I'm using because this one's a little less intrusive to your guys' view. So here are the lights on it, and the same thing. Component 1 is that ram bar. Component 2 is the wraparound. Component 3 is the roof antennas. Component 4 is the ALPR cameras. Component 5 is the trunk antennas. And component 6 here is the front spotlights. That's the word. And then we have 3 liveries on this vehicle. We have the normal patrol livery, a supervisor livery, which as you will see, it will come on every car, and the traffic services livery. So that's used by our traffic services subdivision. So here's a quick go around of the car. It's got the lights in the back there that are nice. Got the lights on the side, ram bar, all that fun jazz. Custom light bar patterns and everything on all the cars, and all of them have the environmental lighting too. So let's get on to the next vehicle. Alright, and here we have the 2015 Dodge Charger. Same thing, pretty much the same lights and everything on it. Pretty much a flip switch copy of the light setup and put on a different model. So if you want something newer, we got the ram bar, the wraparound, the roof antennas there, as you can see on the top, and then we have the ALPR cameras, the trunk antennas, and the spotlights. And moving on into the livery sections, we have 3, same thing, supervisor and traffic services unit. Also on the supervisor livery, it says supervisor there on the back of all the vehicles. So here's a quick go around of the car. You go, get a good look at the back. It's pretty much the same thing as the last one, but just the new model. So let's get on to the next car. Alright, here this is the 2013 Ford Explorer. This is the car along with the Crown Vic that all the new people get to drive, and this is one of my personal favorite models. We have a properly scaled model, which means it is to size and it looks not like a toy car when you're standing next to it, and it has this high quality dashboard here, which is just awesome. So there is that, and it's got same light bar setup and extra one. You have the ram bar. We don't have a wraparound on this, but we have the 2 roof antenna options as well. And just a quick go around of the car here. As we can go down into the liveries, it only has 2. It has the livery 1, which is the normal police livery, and the supervisor livery, and then it also has the wheel and outer edges on the back there. And yeah, that is the 2013 Ford Explorer. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. So, you know, if you happen to join the police department, this is the car you'd be driving. And let's get on to the next vehicle. All right, now this is another one of my favorites. It's the 2016 Ford Explorer Interceptor Utility. Really love this car. Scale model, HD interior. It's really freaking awesome. So you got this, and we have the option of the ram bar, No wraparound on this model again, but we have the 2 roof antennas, and then because it's the new 16 model, you can have the Interceptor there on the front grille. So yeah, I believe there is another livery on this vehicle. Yes, there are 3. And so you have the supervisor livery, the normal livery, and then Port Authority for them down in the ports, working with the boats and stuff. And so there's your quick go around of the vehicle. Pretty much the same lighting setup as the last Explorer, just put on the newer model. Alright, and here is the 2015 Tahoe. Without any components, it's a very basic light setup. You just have these lights here in the back and the rear windows, and that is it. Until you can add extra 1, which is the light bar. Same light bar we got going on, extra 2. So it can also be a slick top if you want. You can take the extra 1 off, and bam, there you go. You have that slick top Tahoe. Then you have extra 3, which is the ram bar there, and extra 4, which makes it a wraparound. Extra 5 and extra 6 look like they're gonna be the roof antennas, and then extra 7, which I mean it's not physically needed, but extra 7, it gives you the tow hook there, and it actually gets you a special feature of this vehicle, which I messed up in spawning them, but there are you can tow boats. So there you go, you got the boat trailer on there. You can tow any small trailer, whether it's like a generator, or I think the other one is like a farm thing, which obviously we wouldn't be carrying around. You can tow small trailers, and through a trainer you can attach a boat to there, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. And the reason we have that is because in our liveries, not only do we have the normal livery, the supervisor livery, but we also have a Port Authority livery for the Port Authority guys, because this is a vehicle they use to tow their boats. And then we also have a stealth livery, so when you're running it slick top, you can see very faintly there it says police on it. It looks better in the sunlight right there. Los Santos Police, our ghost livery. And then right here we have the unmarked, so when you're running unmarked, you can change the color to whatever you want and it'll work. So now let's move on to our next vehicle. Alright, and here we are. We have the Ford Police Interceptor Sedan. Like I said, same thing with the Tahoe, very basic light setup if you don't have any components on, because it has a lot of versatility. You can have extra 1 on, which is the main light bar, and you can have extra 2, which is this interior dash light, but you can also take that off, and bam, you got a slick top car going on. But we're going to just throw everything on so you can see everything we got. You have the ram bar, and then extra 4 adds the ALPR cameras on the back. Extra 5 is the roof antennas there, and extra 6 is the trunk antennas, and extra 8 is your spotlights. So this is also one of my other favorite cars, and it's got a few liveries on it. We have the normal patrol livery, the supervisor livery, the traffic services livery, the stealth livery for when you're running at slick top, and the unmarked, which you can change the color to any color you want. So we'll give a quick go around the vehicle here before we move on to the next one. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. It's got the environmental lighting like all the cars, and also on all the cars here, you can see there in the middle of the light bar, those 2 lights are lighting up. Those are our takedown lights. All our cars have the fully functional takedown lights. So yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Alrighty, here we are with the 2013 Tahoe. Like the 15 Tahoe, it also has the same light setup actually. If you don't have any components on, just nothing, really nothing. And so you can add the light bar, you can add the interior light bar, so it can be slick top, and then you can add the ram bar, the wraparound, and then you have your 2 sets of roof antennas, the set of 4, and then the 2 in the rear. And we also have a few paint options on this vehicle. We have the livery 1, the supervisor livery, our stealth livery if you're running at slick top, and the unmarked for any unmarked duties that we may be doing in the slick top version as well. And so now we can move on to the next vehicle. Alrighty, this is also one of the cars, all the cars that have the slick top options and the light bar options on the same model, like the Tahoes, the Taurus, and this one, they'll have very limited lighting if you have no lights on them, like very super limited. So here, you can add the interior light bar just for that, or you can add the extra light bar for that as well. You can add the ram bar and the wraparound. And then extra 5, you have the set of 4 roof antennas. Extra 6 is the ALPR cameras. Extra 7, you have the trunk antennas. And then extra 8, you have the spotlights in the front. And this vehicle is also utilized by a lot of our divisions, as in traffic services. We have the supervisor livery, the traffic services livery, the stealth livery, and the unmarked livery that you can change to any color you want. And yeah, we still got a few more cars to go, so let's get right on to the next one. Alright, here is another vehicle. It's the Silverado that has the capability of towing boats. This is our Port Authority's actual main way of towing boats, but it can also be used in patrol by a select amount of units. Not that many. In the city, we don't really have the use for truck. That's more of a county type of thing. So, extra 1, you have the ram bar that can get added on. Extra 2, you can add the wraparound to the ram bar. Extra 3, right there, you can see you can get the bed cover to cover up the bed of the truck. Extra 4 is the step down from the truck. And extra 7 is the tow hitch right back there. So you can tow boats. And through another trainer magic, you can attach a boat to the boat trailer and it can actually tow boats. It's pretty awesome. I love seeing when they do it. Paint options, 4 liveries. We have the normal livery, the supervisor livery, Port Authority livery, and then a stealth livery. Because I believe we were going to have an unmarked option on this vehicle, but I don't think we decided not to, and the stealth livery just still made it on there, so this won't ever really be used. And on that note, we'll get on to our next vehicle. Alright, this is the Slick Top Crown Victoria, and this is in the PD11 slot. And so we did this trick with the cars that wouldn't be unmarked, that we couldn't fit an unmarked option, like the interior light bar and the rear light bar, on the normal slot, like they are on the Tahoes and stuff. We decided to put them in, for example, PD1 would be PD11. So you take whatever normal slot is, add 10 to it, and that's whatever slot the unmarked's going to be in. So we have this extra 1. Not sure. Oh, here we go. It's the rear lights. Extra 1, you have these top rear lights. Extra 2, you have the lights next to that brake light there. Extra 3, you get the ram bar lights right there. Extra 4, you can have that wraparound. Extra 5, the ALPR cameras on the back. Extra 6, the trunk antennas. Extra 7 is the roof antennas. And extra 8 is these 2 lights right by the license plate. Little quick strobes. Yeah. So onto the paint now. We have our normal patrol livery, the supervisor livery, the stealth livery, and the unmarked livery. So whatever your taste is, you're patrolling and you can use this vehicle, you can use it. It has a lot of options for all of our divisions. So let's get on to the next vehicle. All right, here is our unmarked 2014, unmarked, I take that back, sorry, Slick Top 2014 Charger. It's got a nice actually amount of lights without any components added. I really like the 2 lights up there. And you can add the ram bar in. You can add the wraparound to the ram bar, the dash lights, and then coming around to the back here, you got the ALPR cameras, the roof antennas, the spotlights up there in the front, and then the trunk antennas. This is also one of my favorite cars. I really like the light setup that you can have there in the front, and it just worked really well on this car. And we tried it out on other cars, and we weren't too happy with it, so we only put it on this car. Liveries, it's got the supervisor livery, the stealth livery, and the unmarked livery. And now you can only guess what's next, because if I said PD3 was the 16 Charger plus 10, it's got to be the Slick Top 16 Charger. So we'll be there in a sec. All right, we got a little change here. We're starting out unmarked. Here we got a sick interior light bar pattern there. We got the takedown lights that turn on right there on the inside of the light bar. I'll drop my controller. Really awesome car. We got the ram bar, same ram bar setup as all the rest of the cars have. The wraparound, and then right there you see you got the roof antennas. Extra 4, you're adding those ALPR cameras, the trunk antennas, and then the spotlights. And so we switched it up. I don't know why we said we switched it up, because we started on the unmarked livery. You got your stealth livery, and then your supervisor and your normal livery. And so I'll just take you guys on a little spin around the car here. All of the Chargers and the Chargers, the Taurus have this this rear light set up there. So we tried to keep these vehicles we kept them uniform, so they'd all match together. So yes, now we will move on to the next vehicle. All right, here we are, 13 Explorer. It's got wigwag pattern up front on the interior light bar. It has the same outer edge on the back there. And we have 3 extras. The rear roof antennas. You kind of see the two little dots of them starting there. I don't even think there's an antenna. I think they're little. I guess that's the future now. I've seen those on cop cars. We have the 4 roof antennas there and the ram bar up front. And that is the slick top 13 Explorer. Quick go around here. And we'll move on to the next and last car. Okay, I forgot something. Before we move on to the car, which is right behind this one, I forgot to show you guys the liveries. We just have same thing: stealth, supervisor, normal, and unmarked. So nothing too serious there. But the vehicle is behind this one, so I'm going to be right back at that one in 1 second. All right, this is the last vehicle here. It's the 2016 Ford Interceptor utility slick top. Awesome light setup on it for the slick top. You have the ram bar. Then you have your 2 sets of roof antennas, radio connection to the World Wide Web. The Interceptor right above the grill there, the Interceptor text if you want that. And on the back here, we have the 2 license plate lights if you want them. So, yes, that is this car. I'm not going to forget the liveries like last one. It's the same thing. Supervisor, stealth, and unmarked. So, here's a quick go around of the stealth livery. I don't think I've shown you guys that much. Can't really see it that well on this side because of the reflections of the game, but yeah. And that is it for the vehicle section. Nothing else has changed. Our motorcycles are still the same. I'm going to show you guys in those. Our motorcycles are the same. I'm going to show you guys those right now. Alrighty, here are our motorcycles. We have the BMW motorcycle. It's the same thing as last time. If you were here last time, I made the pack video. And we have the Harley Davidson motorcycle, which is the same thing as last time. In a future minor update to the pack, we might be adding these vehicles in, or not, these vehicles already in. We might be making our own versions of the 2 motorcycles for the police department, so we don't have to have the CHP looking setup, and we can add a few more lights if we want. So that is it, my friends. Thank you for tuning in for all 15, 16, 17, if you're including the bikes, cars. And I know it's been highly requested because you guys have seen them around. And yeah, so these were them. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying with me. I'm DeMomso. Comment, like, subscribe, share, and favorite. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.